Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to take a closer look at my favorite semiconductor company, NVIDIA. More importantly, there's been a lot of updates in the past week or so. So today's episode, I want to do a recap. We're going to look at supercomputers, at AI, at recent news, anything happening with the company. So let's get started. Let's kind of start off with the first news. And a lot of the news is coming from Microsoft. We did know that they have Microsoft Ignite. I've done a deep dive on their episode before. So make sure to check that out. But first, we can see on November 16th, NVIDIA introduces generative AI foundry service on Microsoft Azure for enterprise and startups worldwide.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So the NVIDIA AI Foundry service pulls together three elements: a collection of NVIDIA's AI foundation models, NVIDIA NeMo framework and tools, and NVIDIA DGX Cloud AI supercomputing. So you can see the software, the AI, and the hardware infrastructure solution to give enterprises an end-to-end solution for creating custom generative AI models. And there are even a few companies that were already kind of included in creating some of these models. So I do believe this is pretty interesting. They even announced that within their models that one can kind of generate customly, they have their own NVIDIA in-home models like NVIDIA Nemotron 3, which is an 8 billion parameter model, but then you can kind of use all the other open source solutions as well, like Meta's Llama 2. Another pretty cool article here is NVIDIA's DGX Cloud. Here we don't miss anything when it has to do with NVIDIA. But for those that are not familiar, NVIDIA's DGX Cloud, right, this is their infrastructure solution. And they've kind of partnered up with some clouding businesses, like there's only one big player that hasn't really signed up for it, and that's Amazon. But all the other players have this NVIDIA's DGX Cloud, which is kind of their infrastructure play and clouding play. And most of them have it, but they don't really promote it and they don't really kind of showcase it to their customers. The only way you can kind of get access to it is if you know about it. But now it can actually easily be found on the marketplace. So obviously it has more eyes. And here, for example, NVIDIA's DGX Cloud, you can get like a one node for about $23,000 a month, a one-time payment of monthly things, and Microsoft users can pay using Microsoft's clouding marketplace credits. So this just opens up more opportunities for them and more customers to kind of view their products. So I do believe this bodes well for NVIDIA and Microsoft's partnership. So kind of following through with this foundry model, there was a big company called Amdocs who plans to build custom large language models for a $1.7 trillion global telecommunication industry using NVIDIA AI Foundry. So here we can just continue to see how there's numerous market opportunities for NVIDIA's AI software and hardware solutions, infrastructure solutions. So it's a pretty interesting win, and I do believe we're going to continue to see bigger wins for the AI Foundry. Now, another kind of software infrastructure solution that NVIDIA announced was Omniverse Cloud Services is also available in Microsoft's clouding solution to accelerate automotive digitalization. And before we take a closer look at this news, this is what gets me excited about NVIDIA, right? It's a company that has created the best of the best hardware, right? There's no one coming close to NVIDIA's H100, no one coming close to the H200. There's competitors and there's people that say, hey, look, we are a great second choice, but for the first choice in forms of performance, there's no one out there. And NVIDIA has done that so well, but they have also done something other. They've also created software solutions and monetized them really well. They've also created infrastructure and AI solutions and monetized it really well. So with this announcement, NVIDIA announces two new simulation engines on Omniverse Cloud. The first is a virtual factory simulation engine, and the second is an autonomous vehicle simulation engine. And it's pretty much, you can kind of guess what they do. The factory helps kind of car companies design and build the proper factory for their manufacturing purposes. And the second is the ability to kind of run simulations to increase your autonomous vehicle and your smart vehicle driving data. So I was actually looking at this NVIDIA Omniverse Cloud, and this one is a very, very expensive piece. We can see starting at roughly almost $1 million per year. I wonder what comes in with these solutions. Obviously, it probably comes with infrastructure infrastructure already and the software solutions, but this is a big win. All right, so next I want to take a closer look at the hardware side for NVIDIA. I've done a deeper dive on this, but again, this is more of just a recap of what's happening with the company. But before we go any further, guys, if you are enjoying the episode, make sure to hit the thumbs up, the subscribe button. If you want to learn more, check out my membership program. I do weekly deep dives. Just click join to learn more. Special offer at fool.com/Jose and many other pretty cool links on the pinned description. All right, so continuing here with Microsoft, we now have some AI hardware wins. So the first thing is Microsoft announced a new virtual machine series that it's going to be using, you guessed it, NVIDIA's H100 GPUs. And these are the NVL GPUs. The NVL GPUs, I do believe, tend to have larger memory, which are better for kind of AI workstations and some form of AI workloads. Outside of that, Microsoft also announced that they are going to extend their partnership with NVIDIA and start to use NVIDIA's H200 in their supercomputing fleet later next year. So that bodes well because the H200 is probably going to be another crazy great margin product for NVIDIA. Now, as we are here in the AI market, we usually tend to think about AI in cloud computing, but AI is coming to the PC space as more workloads are coming locally. We've seen AMD build their AMD Ryzen AI. We've seen Intel really focused on their Meteor Lake that is also going to have an AI application. But NVIDIA saying, hey, congratulations, you guys. You guys are trying to bring AI to the local workload, but thanks to our GPUs that are pretty much in millions and millions of gamers and designers and content creators' laptops, those applications can actually run really well in locally already. So we don't really need your Ryzen AI. We don't really need your Intel Meteor Lake. And NVIDIA continues to update their solutions here with their most recently TensorRT LLM, which is an open software that increases AI inferencing performance. And they do mention they're kind of extending the support to introduce new large language models and to kind of focus on GPUs in desktops and laptops with over 8 gigs of RAM. So this kind of showcases that, look, NVIDIA is not just focused in the AI space, in the clouding space, but also for your typical average Joes like you and I. Now, talking a closer look at hardware, I kind of talked about them earlier on, but during the supercomputer events in 2023, which I do expect to be there next year, so hopefully we get some great content there. But NVIDIA introduced a few new hardwares. First, they introduced the NVIDIA HGX H200, which is an upgraded version of the H100. It's going to have more memory, obviously better for kind of large language models. Then they introduced a quad Grace Hopper 200. Pretty much this is a supercomputer on its own. But again, we are continuing to see more solutions in the hardware space from CPU to GPU coming out from NVIDIA. So now let's take a closer look at the top 500 supercomputers list that was just announced. There were 40 new supercomputers added to the list, and out of those 49, 38 were powered by NVIDIA one way or another. I think that is insane. They also do mention that the list, out of the top 500, NVIDIA powers 379 of the supercomputers. This is not necessarily all AI accelerators. NVIDIA has things like networking solutions and stuff like that. Some pretty cool names was the supercomputer that Microsoft and NVIDIA built together, ranked as number 3. NVIDIA also has a computer that's powered by them that is number 8, another one that's number 9. And outside of that, right, they're not just doing good in the supercomputing world, they're also doing good in the AI world, as we saw about a week ago how NVIDIA's machines continue to lead high performance and continue to break records in things like MLPerf benchmarks. Another strong thing that is important in supercomputers and data centers in general are energy efficiency. NVIDIA GPUs power 23 of the top 30 systems on the Green 500, and they still have the number 1 spot with their H100 GPU, the Henry system, which is in New York. And one thing I do want to mention is there is a difference between high performance computing performance and kind of AI training performance as well. For example, there is a upcoming supercomputer coming out in Germany called Jupiter, and Jupiter can provide roughly 93 exaflops of performance for AI training and roughly 1 exaflop for high performance computing applications. So it is important to understand. Some investors might be wondering, hey, how do certain companies beat NVIDIA in the top 500 supercomputer list if NVIDIA continues to have better products. Now, I think that's all I have for NVIDIA. I hope you guys enjoy the quick episode and a quick recap of everything the company recently announced. So take care, have a good day, and see you next time.